for a match vital to the Warrington coach Clive Griffiths, who wants the job further than the end of the season. Umanga and Penny, the fullbacks. It's St. John Ellis and Mark Forster on the wings, with 19-year-old Damien Munro and the Tongan Matiaki Mafi on the other flank. In the centre, Martin Moana and Chris Rudd, and the Western Samoan Feriti Tuilangi lines up against Andy Courier. 17-year-old Chris Chester is making quite a name for himself, and he has to get on top of Yestin Harris today. Scrum half Craig Dean and Mike Ford yet to produce his best form in Warrington's colours. Up front, Wayne Jackson and Mark Jones collide, as do Martin Kettridge and Mark Hilton. Two great young talents at hooker, Paul Rowley and John Huff. Second row sees another Tongan, Asa Amon, and it's the Warrington captain, Paul Cullen. Michael Jackson is in some of the best form, and he takes on 19-year-old Ian Knott, and Welsh international Mark Perrott is up against that wily Kiwi, Kelly Shelford. Coaches, if they finish fourth, it'll be a mighty effort by Halifax's Steve Sims and Clive Griffiths, who could do with nothing less than a win. On the bench for Halifax, we've got Paul Heighton, Simon Baldwin, Carl Gillespie and Paul Anderson. And for Warrington, it's Gary Chambers, Paul Barrow, Manoa Thompson and John Thursfield. Today's match referee is John Connolly. We're just about ready on this, the penultimate Sunday of the Stones Bitter Centenary Championship programme. And it's Warrington, desperately in search of a win, who get the game underway. First catch of the ball by Wayne Jackson. Paul Cullen in quickly, along with Welshman Mark Jones to bring him down. That was Paul Rowley. This is the second rower, Asa Amon for Halifax. And I must say that when I arrived at Drum Hall today, I expected to see some grass skirts and some Hawaiian dances, because it's very much, Steve-O, got a South Sea Island flavour about it, this match today, with so many peculiar names.
Twingatusters or whatever. We've even started early. Either way, Halifax have a very, very young side, especially the halfback combination, Chris Chester and Craig Dean. Chester at 17, Dean at 19. They certainly will have a lot of responsibility playing against the Warrington side, who are desperate for a win.
Mark Forster runs the ball back for Warrington. Forster is one of the survivors of that 1986 Premiership final victory over Halifax, who were champions then at Ellen Road. Paul Cullen is the other. And how they would love to get a victory under their belts for their caretaker coach, Clive Griffiths, who has yet to be confirmed in the coaching role at Wilderspool for the Super League campaign. He tells me that no one in the game would want it greater than him. So he will be desperate for a win, and Warrington anxious to get back on tracks. Forward with the kick downfield, but straight into the arms of the lanky winger Damien Munro. And it's a very young-looking Halifax side, this. Head-to-head over the years, 25 matches, Warrington with big advantage, 15-9, and there's been one draw in that sequence. Here now, Asa Amon. Good tackling, though, by Warrington, who, remember, just a week ago against the Saints, started brightly too, but then fell to pieces. Wayne Jackson with the drive upfield. Rowley was the dummy half, the hooker. This is Michael Jackson, former Great Britain international, and Steve Sims, the Halifax coach, tells me playing some of the best rugby league of his career. There's the diminutive figure of Craig Dean, who kicks the ball downfield, and underneath it is Maffey eventually, right down to his own try line though, and that's a good chase from the Halifax defence.
Tremendous defence, led all the way by Paul Rowley. Only a few problems here at the club, but the club seem to think they'll be able to sort the financial details out with the hooker very shortly. Let's hope they do that, because he really is a firebrand player, and that'll be a penalty to Halifax.
A disastrous attempted play the ball by Lee Penny. The ball has got to go backwards, Steve-O, and how many times have we seen that recently? It's gone forward, but only a mistake.
Just lost the marbles there a little bit, Lee Penny. Well, not the start that they would like. The new coach, Clive Griffiths, will be far from impressed from that. A few words from Paul Cullen, the skipper of the Warrington side, telling Penny just to relax, settle down.
Mike Umanga is going to take this first penalty at goal. You can't blame him, he's just 20 metres out and look bang in front. So this should be easy for Umanga. 10 goals so far this season former Western Samoan rugby union star. Just settling himself. John Schuster, of course, one of the 5 out injured. And no problems for Umanga. He gets the 2 points. And an expensive lesson for young Lee Penny in the opening minutes of this match. You have to play the ball properly. The referees are very keen at the moment. There's Steve Sims, the Halifax coach, watching from high up in the gantry on the far side of the field. And what a job he has done here at Plum Hall, Steve-O.
Tremendous effort by the Australian. He's always been a great advocate of bringing the youngsters through. I mentioned just a few moments ago that the halfback position, Chester and Dean, they really do have great hopes for both of them. Especially Chester, who at 17 years of age plays well above his experience.
Paul Cullen with the drive from the kick-off. Here's Forster again. Just mentioning those 5 internationals who are out for Halifax. It's Bentley, Schuster, Harrison, Fieldhouse and Moriarty. They're out for the remainder of the season. It's a big effort by this Halifax side to get to the situation they are now. They're having to defend this run from Mark Jones. He's got Mike Ford in support. He should have passed to Shelford. Shelford was through a gap, and that would have been try time.
I can't believe that Ford threw the dummy then.
Courier brings it back this way, but the Halifax defence now has Marshall, and that was a try begging for Kelly Shelford, and Ford really should have passed to him. Shelford receives it now. It bounces off a Halifax leg, but that will be a dropout from underneath the sticks.
Beautiful break by the prop forward, Mark Jones. Little short pass there, and you could see Shelford far from happy, and rightly so. Now this will be a dropout because the ball did ricochet off a Halifax leg. And there's the man in question, Mike Ford, that really should have passed that football. The Warrington side looking towards Mike Ford. He's got plenty of experience, but as yet, has yet to show the skills that we've seen, especially when he was playing at his peak at Castleford.
And he's filling in the boots, of course, of Greg Mackey, who's something of a legend in the Warrington area. Penny is on halfway. Lee Penny sent off. You may remember in the match against St Helens last Sunday, the disciplinary committee decided it was sending off sufficient punishment, but Celesi Finau, who also got the red card in that match, got a 2-match ban, so he's missing the remainder of the season. This is little John Huff, the hooker for Warrington, scampering away, but being stopped on the 20-metre line. Wayne Jackson there, Craig Dean was there also. Now Mark Jones, another good run from him. Last tackle here for Warrington, and Ford again. He was practicing these little chip over the tops just before the match started, and the winger, Monroe, lost that under pressure from Forster, but the ball went backwards. It's play on.
He took it well, but the impact of the tackle from Forster was enough to get the ball released. Fortunately, it did go backwards. Well, you mentioned that Mike Ford definitely practicing the kick into the corner, but I'd like to see Ford inject himself a little bit more in attack and take on the defence. He seems to be lacking in confidence so much.
Wayne Jackson just has a look at the referee, who's appealing for a penalty there for holding down the tackle. No penalty forthcoming. That's Martin Moana with the run. And here now is Michael Jackson. He takes Halifax over the halfway line. Little Craig Dean again, another kick from him. Up the hill here at Thrum Hall, and they're all after it. Perrett's there, but so too is Penny. And that was a good take by Lee Penny.
Sure was, and a great kick from the youngster Craig Dean. You can see that the fullback had his eyes on that football all the time. Was not perturbed by the onrushing would-be tacklers.
It's Matiaki Maffey, who's drifted infield from his wing. It's his third full appearance in a week for Warrington. Mark Jones and Ian Knott now is the runner. That's the last tackle.
Good play by the Warrington forwards, though. They're playing the ball quickly. They're getting the runners round.
There's another kick from Ford. As I say, he was practicing that kick to the corner immediately prior to the kick-off. Umanga has to run the ball out. Fielded it well and made a good 10 metres ground.
Good kick and chase, though, by Mike Ford there. He was the first man on the spot. Brought off the tackle on the big full back.
Wayne Jackson tackled by Mark Jones. 3 tackles gone for Halifax. Here's Martin Kettridge, captain for the day. Led them out. Gets the pass away to St. John Ellis. Newcomer at Halifax, Damien Monroe. Great tackle by Maffey. Rowley is the man in the dummy half. And Jackson again, gritting his teeth, dragging his team up to the halfway line.
Both sides are finding it very difficult to get through this defence, mainly, I feel, because that the referee, John Connolly, is not taking them back far enough in mind. He really is allowing this defence to move up so quick.
Chris Rudd did well, fielding the little kick that was aimed at getting through that Warrington defence, but Rudd wheeled it in. Here now is Mark Hilton. Big prop forward Hilton, and Halifax caught offside.
Loose forward Mark Perrott. The referee, John Connolly, was shouting at Perrott to get well away from the man. He said, "You're offside," even before he moved away. And there you can see he was a full yard in front of the merry whistleblower. Connolly saw that very quickly. Took no notice of what the referee shouted to him. Therefore, the first chance for Warrington perhaps to equal the score.
Yes, 10 minutes gone. Halifax ahead, courtesy of a penalty. Mark Perrott, the Welsh international, caught offside. And so another Welsh international, Iestyn Harris, has the opportunity to level the scores now with this penalty attempt.
Well, that is unusual, isn't it? The referee, John Connolly, said to Iestyn Harris, he'd put the sand down half a metre in front. He said the penalty is half a metre back. Pick it up and take it back. Rather disgruntled look from the Welsh wizard, Iestyn Harris.
John Connolly stamping his authority on this match. And Iestyn Harris wearing an uncharacteristic scrum hat today. There's the first mound on the dotted line, and the ball now is on a little mountain of sand, as Steve-O says, about half a metre or so behind. Welsh international Iestyn Harris then. Gives it a good thump, and that's straight and through. So it's Halifax 2, Warrington 2. Warrington 5 straight defeats behind them, and they've embarked on something that they're calling it will just pull their end of season tour, because their last 4 league matches this season are all away from home. Harris restarts then, 2-all. Underneath it was the fullback Umanga, and he gives it to Asa Amon. John Huff is there, and Kelly Shelford also, wrestling him to the floor. Umanga the dummy half. And Perrott. Rowley taking the opportunity there to make some good yards from the dummy half. Got a good pass in too, and it was well watched by Ian Knott as Chris Chester hit the ball at pace. Halifax starting to get their attack together. St. John Ellis, good tackling, but offside. Warrington caught by the referee. Iestyn Harris can't believe it, and I'm sure that Clive Griffiths can't believe it either, on the left of your screen there, right at the back of the stand.
Good play by the hooker, Paul Rowley. It's the second time he run from dummy half. You could see that Warrington were very slow to get back. It has been their problem over the last couple of weeks. The Warrington defence, the markers, first and second, are very slow to get into position.
So Halifax on the charge here with Wayne Jackson, going straight for the line, and it had to be a good tackle by Hilton, and Cullen and was. Jackson again looking to the referee, thinking about a penalty. He says none. Nowhere for Umanga to go. But that's how close Halifax are. Kettridge. Good defence from Warrington. They've been working hard on this on the training field all week, trying to give themselves a lift to the end of the season. Dancing little run coming in there from Tuilangi. Last tackle, and so close. Rowley dabs it through. It hits a Warrington foot, and Mike Ford picks up the pieces.
Well, nice attempt from the hooker, Paul Rowley, there, but Mike Ford equal to the task. You can see him just lurking in the sweeper. Hooked it up really well. But that was good work from the Halifax forwards. They really did drive up
That's good work too from Mike Ford. He releases John Huff, showing all the strength in the world there to stand in the tackle and release the football. Now Shelford, straight down the middle from Shelford. Courier has gone into dummy half. He decides to have a little run himself, but the figure of Paul Rowley was there in front of him, brings him down. Cullen now to Ford. Ford again, a kick to that corner. Munro picks it up.
Good defence there from Warrington. It was good work as well. They made 70 metres. That's really great play from their forwards. They came right from deep within their own quarter, and now they can apply the pressure to this Halifax side. And once again, we see the hooker, Rowley, going on a solo effort.
Craig Dean to Wayne Jackson. Good tackle, but he gets the pass away to Chester, who in turn finds Moana, and Moana gives it to St. John Ellis, who pops the ball over the top brilliantly. This is a lovely attack from Halifax. Moana is stopped only by Lee Penny, and that's Chester again. Out wide it goes. Craig Dean, the scrum half, dabs it through for Munro, and Damien Munro gets a great try. Lee Penny unimpressed. Little push in the back after the try was given, but Damien Munro, he chased the ball through as it was grubbered along the ground, and more trouble for Warrington.
Tremendous work from the winger. He'd come in off the touchline. He knew that the quick kick was going to come through from Craig Dean. A set pattern move, and it was superb. This is a break. Back on the inside, St. John Ellis did well. You could see that Ian Knott had gone far too high, and this kid, Chris Chester, sends a man, gets it alive there. It was good work from Moana, and then the little kick through. Craig Dean, to perfection. Well done. The two youngsters combining exceptionally well. You could see he looked up there to see whether the winger was coming through. He was. The downward pressure is sufficient, and he's every right to feel overjoyed.
5 in 7 now for Damien Munro. And Mike Umanga with the conversion attempt. Well, John Schuster, as I say, has been out injured since early December. They've kicked just 14 goals in 7 games since, and they have equalled their average now here today. That's the second for Umanga this afternoon, and Halifax have an 8-2 advantage.
You can see the winger there that's coming right in from the left wing. It's a set pattern move. That is beautiful. That is a wonderful kick. You could see that Dean just glanced up to see if the lad was there. He certainly was. Well, a bit of petulance there from Lee Penny at the end. Silly thing to do from the fullback. Good job that the experienced referee, John Connolly, wouldn't have given perhaps a chance of an 8-point try there. But he wasn't going to be sucked into that, thankfully.
Here's Paul Cullen. Plays the ball quickly, Cullen. One of a number of players from this Warrington side, anxious to make amends for the past couple of weeks. Another is Courier. That's a great run, but a fabulous tackle from Umanga. But Warrington on the roll here with Ford. Mike Ford changing the direction of the attack and straight into Tuilangi. Here's Harris. Now Shelford. Over the top, they've got men out wide. One of them's Penny. Lee Penny gets the pass back inside to Maffey, and the scrambling Halifax defence. Well, I was going to say pull him down. They do second attempt. A much better attack this from Warrington, from one end of the field to the other, courtesy of Courier's run. Can Harris open the door? Jones, straight up the middle, and lowers the pass, but John Huff going nowhere with his opposite number, Paul Rowley, all round him. That's the last tackle. 70 metres, most of them made by Courier. Little kick over the top from Harris into the arms of Munro. And the youngster deals with it confidently and does very well.
Well, the Warrington side obviously feel that this youngster Munro is a bit of a problem, but up to now he's handled everything exceptionally well. Picked himself up a nice try too. But that was good work from Warrington. That will lift their confidence. It's a great break from Andy Courier, and then another run from Mike Ford. Well, Shelford, it's a little bit too high. Over the top of the head there, the swinging left arm on the little halfback Craig Dean. Would have felt that as well.
Shelford penalised. Kettridge takes the penalty for Halifax. So Halifax back in the Warrington half again with Tuilangi. And Steve-O, John Keir, the academy coach, names his Great Britain team to take on the French this week. And what's more, I fancy we might be seeing some of these Halifax youngsters named in the side, the progress they've made.
They certainly are showing up well, aren't they? There's a lot to choose from. And they're really getting it together, especially the two halfbacks. Chester and Dean, they're combining all right. But the problem with Warrington at the moment is their defence, especially in this market area.
Chester finds Dean. Dean looking for the long pass out wide, and there it is. Monroe back inside, and a chance there for Tuilangi. And it had to be a good tackle from Courier that kept him out. Dabbed through by Amon, and Warrington get the ball back. It was still on the last tackle. The ball played the Warrington man, not the other way round.
Well, a big chance there for the fullback, Mike Umanga. Really did make a meal of it. The ball was kicked away. The ball played the player, so that was not back to one. The opportunity was missed.
Well, that's Gary Chambers, number 14, on the field for Mark Jones. And Chambers today making his 100th career appearance. The big Cumbrian prop forward. Now Shelford. He's no doubt still thinking of that opportunity very early on that would have presented itself to him had Mike Ford passed to him like that.
Warrington finding it very difficult. This Halifax defence moving up quickly. And it's the likes of this man, Mike Ford, that perhaps could send him away. Well, he held the ball there. That was a bit of a suicide pass. Now, was Rowley in touch? No.
The referee says play on for a moment, but then he will drag them back and play the first knock on.
Well, he threw the dummy and just held on it too much. That was enough for Andy Curry to have taken that one step forward.
And that's the knock on that he will play, I think. The first one, and it's head and feet to Halifax.
Scrappy play. We said that there's a man that dropped the ball, but it wasn't the best pass from Mike Ford. This defence from Halifax moving up quickly, and that's where Warrington have to change their tactics. Mike Ford, a great exponent of the little chip over the top. That's what they've got to use.
Umanga gets the pass out to Moana. Moana out to St. John Ellis. You may remember St. John Ellis, of course, playing earlier this season for Bradford Bulls. They've released him. Steve Sims has snapped him up.
Beautiful pass by the fullback there. See how he drew the winger, Maffey, and then just slipped the ball away. Great skills.
Big chance here for Halifax then to build on this lead. It's with Martin Kettridge, and he gets it to Michael Jackson. Shelford is there, Courier is there to bring Michael Jackson down. Tuilangi is the man in at dummy half. Strong defence from Shelford. The marker position had to be Monroe, Chester, Dean. Great movement by this Halifax side, and almost again Umanga getting the pass out to Ellis. Steve-O, wasn't that a voluntary tackle?
Certainly looked it to mine. St. John Ellis made no attempt to try to bring that ball back into play.
And he's just wiped the tackle count down to 0, has John Connolly. So big opportunity here as the second rower, Issa Amon, goes from the line, and Warrington somehow hold him out.
He did right to the referee, John Connolly. There was a definite hand from the Warrington player.
Dean to Wayne Jackson. Wayne Jackson spinning away from the tackles, gets the pass away. It went forward. Jackson, the former Hull Kingston Rovers and Doncaster prop.
Well, Jackson trying to keep the ball alive under a lot of pressure. You can see that it just didn't have any full control of it, even though Rowley was screaming for the football. Well, they're finding the gaps, this Halifax side, and it's coming about because of the good combination between young Chester and Dean. Both are superb at sending the long ball out wide.
Chris Rudd in the side because Salisi Finau was suspended, as I say, by the disciplinary committee this week. Ian Knott with the run upfield. John Hoff. Oh, he loses the ball just a little bit too over elaborate. Halifax have it back. And Cullen got a hand on that.
Well, that should have been a knock-on.
Well,
the touch judge has missed it.
The touch judge and everything else. He's wiped the tackle count down to 0 in Warrington's favour. Well, that's a big miss.
Well, perhaps they need a little bit of lady luck, the wire, but they've got to make it count now. You can see there the Halifax defence, one line is moving in. They're forcing Warrington into just one-out football, and that's interference.
Yeah, it's got to be a penalty against Wayne Jackson. He says he couldn't help it, but it's offside nonetheless. He's got to get out of the way.
Yep. You can see he just dragged the left foot across.
Had 2 goes at it. Look, one.
The rule states
2.
that once you've made the tackle, you don't go back across the line of where the man is about to play the ball. You must either move away to left or right, or roll away if you're on the floor.
Well, he's penalised anyway, and Warrington with a chance here. With Mark Foster taking on Mark Perrott. Martin Kettridge coming in as well. Kettridge, of course, 2 years ago, man of the match in the Regal Trophy final for Castleford against Wigan. Hilton trying to drive his way to that line. Hoff. Shelford's on a run. Shelford pushes the ball out wide to Penny. It's good defence from Halifax, this. And not the best pass in the world either, and Warrington have to retreat to come forward again. Maffey into the arms of Ford once more, taking them on. That's better. He's got support from Harris. And that's great defence from Perrott to keep Harris out.
Wonderful ball and all tackle. Good work from Ford, though.
Here he is again, into the arms of Shelford. Shelford sees a gap, but it's closed down quickly. Gets the ball away to Cullen. Cullen through the legs. The referee says play on. And Ford spins away from trouble, finds Maffey. Ford takes over again. But Warrington, they're all bunched around the man carrying the football. Here's Penny. Jackson with the tackle. Or Penny straight into the arms of Moana.
I can't believe that there. It was like a slipcord in a cricket match, wasn't it? They were just stood around. And then in the end, they passed it to the opposition. Lack of confidence. Nothing is going right for them.
Well, Lee Penny in particular, Steve, over the past, few days of 1996, she's gone from a world-class fullback to a man who is so low on confidence it's untrue.
Oh, a bit of a let-off again there. It looked as though the ball had gone, but it was knocked down by a substitute.
Gary Chambers. Yeah, got a hand to it.
Well, things are getting a little bit scrappy now, and John Connolly quick to get across to them. You can see it was Maffey's second attempt into the tackle that dislodged the ball from Jackson. Nice to see Jackson back in good form. Been plagued with injuries for the past 2 or 3 seasons.
Ball comes out, Shelford picks up, finds Harris, he gives it to Penny. Lee Penny, despite the fact that confidence is low, still 15 tries this season. Forster picks himself up, plays the ball to Shelford, he finds Harrison on to Ford. Misses out Rudd and finds Courier, and Courier down the middle. Does he have the confidence to take them on? Yes, he does, but now he's looking for support, and none forthcoming again.
Well, that's the second time that Courier has made a long run, and there's been no one there to support him, and what have they done? They've dropped the football.
Yes. Hoff got the ball away, and Rudd just couldn't wheel it in. It bounced off his chest, and they are going through the horrors, Warrington.
That was try time. The centre Rudd had no one in front of him.
Kettridge, tackled by Knott.
There you see, Hoff, the hooker, beautiful pass. Nothing wrong with the pass there. But what a game this kid's having, Paul Rowley. Really is taking them on from the dummy half position. And that puts a lot of pressure on the defence.
Perrott with the run. Clive Griffith, of course, will know all about Mark Perrott. He's the Welsh national coach. That's good play from Ford. He charged the kick down, and the ball stuck. He's waiting for support. Forster arrives, and this has got to be a try for Warrington, and Forster gets the 4. Well, Mike Ford charged the kick down, and somehow it stuck. And maybe that's the turning point in the Warrington luck. Then he went on the run, drew Umanga, the fullback, and Forster arrived in support.
Tremendous take. The kick from Jackson was just taken in with ease. And Mike Ford raced away. Now he just drew in the fullback, Umanga. And good support play by Mark Forster. Thought it was Kettridge that kicked the ball. And he just took it well, but this is the experience showing. And good support play there. You take your chances, and they have done on that occasion. And as Eddie states, maybe that is a moment where the fortunes of Warrington will now change. They've gone through the horrors. Courier has made 2 tremendous breaks, and yet they've wasted the opportunities, but not that time.
Mark Forster's try, he's now in double figures. He missed 5 in December. But Mike Ford, the man who had super glue applied to his fingers, and that ball stuck somehow, and Forster arrived in support. Well, is that the moment, as we say, that Warrington's luck turns? Justin Harris now, and I'll tell you, there's quite a slope on this Drumhall pitch, and Harris is kicking up the slope at those posts. He's missed it, pushed it in front of the posts, but the gap narrows to just 2 points, 8-6.
You'll see how Mike Ford just veers towards the fullback Umanga, therefore committed him there. Once he makes the effort, the pass was superb. Good play, tremendous play by Mike Ford, not only just for the catch, but the wonderful way that he veered in towards, and that should please the coach, Clive Griffiths, who hasn't had a very good 1996 so far either.
No, he hasn't, but he was telling me this morning that there is nobody in the game of rugby league who desires the opportunity at Warrington more than he does. It's a long journey, though, for Warrington.
Well, that shows you that the spirits have been lifted with the Warrington defence there. They really are putting their bodies on the line. They looked a little bit despondent, and it's not surprising, though, when the amount of times when they make the break and then they just waste a chance. Frittered away the opportunities. It plays havoc with your confidence.
Offside against Warrington. Referee paused before blowing to see if Mark Perrott could prize an advantage. None was forthcoming, so he gives the penalty.
Gary Chambers was the first one. He never made any attempt to get back. In fact, he was a yard in front of John Connolly. It's silly play, really, when you can see that the referee is at the side of you.
And Tuilangi, with great strength, the Western Samoan, who doesn't count on the Halifax overseas quota. And here's another of the imports, Asa Amon, the Tongan, driving Halifax to within striking distance of that line. Lovely run-around play too. And then the best of British, Michael Jackson, comes in to chime into the line. Referee unhappy with the way the ball was played. He moved off the mark, Jackson. He moved off the mark because Justin Harris was flat out in front of him, in fairness.
They claimed that he couldn't play the ball, but that's not for the player to make that decision. He should have tried to attempt to play the ball over the top of Justin Harris, and then the penalty would have gone the other way. Either way, the Welsh wizard took a knock from that one, and I think it might have been a stray boot. As you can see, Jackson's getting across, and I think he may have got a boot from one of his own players. Well, you can't take the game responsibility into your own hands, and that's what Jackson did. He'll learn from that.
Matiaki Mathi, another Tongan. As I say, a real South Sea Islands flavour about this match today. Although Steve O'Thrumhall is a million miles away from the South Pacific.
Don't see much sun either.
We will next year in the Super League when we move to summer from the end of March. We'll be basking in sunshine at Drumhall. This is Shelford, gets the pass away to Hoff.
Better play from Warrington, but also good defence. Michael Jackson really getting low on the thing.
Oh, the chip over the top did not work out, and Halifax say thanks very much.
Well, the chance is there. It was well taken from the second rower. Moni, he read it well, but that's the type of thing that they've got to revert to. As we mentioned earlier, that this Halifax defence, they're moving up as one unit. They work very hard, which is not surprising when you realise they've got an Australian coach in Steve Sims. The bench is a key, isn't it?
Good run from Wayne Jackson. The ball was stolen from him. Mike Ford, adjudged to have got a hand in.
Mike Ford saying that he was just trying to tackle him, but you can see clearly on the replay, and you can see clearly that John Connolly was in a perfect position to see that. Look at that, right in front of the referee. Don't kid me, Mike Ford.
So penalty to Halifax, and Mike Umanga, another of the Western Samoans, ready to take this. But while we wait for it, let me remind you once again that we will have Wigan and Bradford for you on Tuesday night at 10:30 in the Boots and All slot, extended to midnight to cover the big match at Central Park, when Wigan will be aiming to wrap up a 7th championship in a row. They will then keep the championship trophy in the boardroom at Central Park forevermore. So a big night on Tuesday. We'll be there. I hope you will be too. 10:30, Sky Sports. Wigan Bradford. Meanwhile, Umanga with the penalty attempt, and that hit the bar. And so it's come back into play. Mike Ford gets the pass away to Forster.
Well, any youngsters that are watching that, you notice that Mike Ford did not have his back to the post, he had his back to the kicker.
He had not with the run.
So that if the ball does have a rebound, he could keep an eye on it. Good play there by Ford. Well, maybe luck is changing for Warrington. It was quite an easy kick that should have been accepted by Umanga.
Well, if not, it should have gone dead, and Halifax would then get the ball back from the dropout, but not on that occasion. So I wonder if Clive Griffiths has rubbed the lamp this morning. Off with that little chip through.
Perhaps could do with 3 more wishes, and 3 more tries, maybe the order of the day. But it certainly has lifted their confidence, even though they're 2 points adrift. It looked as though Halifax, midway through this first half, were beginning to take control. They really were finding the gaps. It's amazing what a try can do for you.
Rowley plays the ball to the scrum half, Greg Dean. And Wayne Jackson takes it up for Halifax again, up towards the halfway line. That's where they are. Good kick over the top by Dean once more. He's been kicking towards this right-hand touchline and Mark Forster, and Warrington have been kicking down the same side, but to the number 5 there, Damien Munro, throughout this first half.
Well, that's not surprising, Eddie, the way that this pitch slopes from the far side down towards the commentary position. It's quite a large slope, you know. You must take advantage of everything out there. Beginning to see Justin Harris inject himself into the game a little bit more. If they can combine with Harris, Ford, and the loose forward Kelly Shelford, that could spell danger for Halifax.
Mark Hilton with the run over the top of Wayne Jackson, but halted by Perrott and company. Oh, nice little track through by Chambers. Still there, Chambers, but why didn't he drop on the ball? Referee has seen a knock-on, though. There, surely he should have dropped on the ball, but you see, there's the knock-on by the Halifax man, and so it'll be Warrington's head and feed. So they get the possession anyway.
Good thinking, though, from Gary Chambers. Tremendous play. He really got involved with it. It was a nice little kick through. And Talangi was the culprit. Well, can they post another try just before the half-time break? Mike Ford there talking to his colleagues. Perhaps they will be working a set move.
And there's a slight pause because Kelly Shelford has left the field and he has gone off into the blood bin, and so Paul Barrow comes on and he will pack down at the back of the scrum. Shelford just with a cut on the top of the head by the looks of things. John Connolly brandishing the green and white card.
Now, what tricks does Justin Harris have up his sleeve now?
Decided to take 2 of them on then. Here's Barrow, his first touch. second row on Wednesday, playing loose forward at the moment with Shelford off. There's the second row now, Ian Knott. Hoff, the dummy half, to Mike Ford. Mike Ford to Courier, good hands to Penny, and Penny, with the try, gives Warrington the lead. Penny chimed into the line at just the right moment. Try number 16 of the season.
Superb play by Warrington. You'll see how Mike Ford will use two dummy runners. Long ball out wide. It was a beautiful pass there from Courier. And the fullback linked in superbly. That was magic stuff. Ford holds the ball out wide. Hesitation. You could see how they committed to Ingali. And Lee Penny in for a vital 4 points just before the half-time break. Watch for Tuilangi go in there, and as soon as he gets him, Courier serves up a beautiful pass to Lee Penny. This is really, really top stuff. Beautiful pass there.
Great try then from Lee Penny. Gives Warrington the lead. And Iestyn Harris now with another opportunity up the hill here at Thrum Hall. That's got certainly the direction and the distance. So Iestyn Harris gives Warrington and Clive Griffiths some breathing space up to half-time. 12 points to 8. A great effort from Lee Penny. And I just wonder whether Lady Luck is starting to smile on Warrington after those two instances in this first half.
There was
First
no
of all,
luck
the ball that stuck, and then the one that came back off the bar.
Okay, but there was no luck involved in that. That was absolutely great football. Well worked, creating the overlap. The way that Andy Courier just sucked in the centre, Ferretti Tuilangi, was tremendous.
Something perhaps for Clive Griffiths to smile about. Certainly the centre of attention, as is his team. Jackson does well, unloads the ball. Good run it was on his inside also. Dean again, down the wing for Monroe. Penny's after it. Penny makes a meal of it. Oh, and it was so close to Monroe. Forster has to come across and hack the ball dead. Penny so close to being hero and then villain.
Tremendous kick there from Dean. And this youngster on the wing, Damien Monroe, applies the pressure. What on earth Lee Penny was doing. Took all the time, and Mark Forster came to the rescue. This would have been a try. Seconds away, and Lee Penny breathes a sigh of relief.
Well done, Mark Forster. He scored a try in that first half, and he certainly saved a try there. Lee Penny with the other Warrington effort. They're jogging off towards the dressing rooms because the half-time siren has sounded. It's half-time here, and a match that looked in danger of slipping away from Warrington has suddenly come back into their grasp. They lead by 12 points to 8 at the break. Warrington's last league victory here at Thrum Hall came in October 1988, 16-4. At half-time here in 1996, they're on course to get their second win, leading by 12 points to 8 in the Stones Bidder Centenary Championship. A gutsy, determined effort in the first half, but they will have to play at the top of their form to beat this Halifax side, who have made a change at half-time. Simon Baldwin has come on, number 15, in place of Mark Perrott. So Steve Sims just adjusting things slightly to try and prize the win out of Warrington, with 4 points to make up in the second half. Kelly Shelford with a headband in this second period on the halfway line. John Huff, the dummy half, he gives it to Ford, quick hands to Harris, and he finds Ian Knott. Knott is on his own, pats it through on the outside of his boot, and that's a big mistake by Umanga. It's 6 to go. Warrington back in possession here with Ford, and the second rower Asa Amon in quickly to pull Ford down. But a big chance here at the start of this second half. Courier out the back door, and Forster just couldn't take the pass in.
Mistakes aplenty. It all came about by a beautiful run from Ian Knott and got the kick through. And really Courier trying to get the ball out wide. That was a big mistake from Mike Yamanga. And Justin Harris got the ball away, Ford supported. And in that bit of passage of play, Andy Courier's receiving treatment. Trying to get the ball out wide to Forster, and in doing so, and he's in a lot of pain, is Andy Courier. He's out on the wing at the moment, but he can hardly walk.
It's Halifax in possession. That's their 20-metre line. And Martin Kettridge trying to get them out of trouble.
Well, if Halifax get the ball out to the left quickly, they'll find that Courier can hardly be able to tackle at all. They're trying to do that. Surely Warrington must make a substitution as quickly as possible.
Well, Rowley's attacking down the left-hand side. There's Forster. He gets the pass away, though. This is Baldwin. And Courier has gone off, and he has been replaced by Manoa Thompson. They got him off the field as quickly as they could. The kick downfield, and Lee Penny fields the kick.
Did well there, did Warrington defence to keep Halifax out. He was just a passenger there, Andy Courier. Quickly did the substitution. Oh, that should be a penalty.
It is. Oh, no, he's given it the other way. Interference at the play the ball, I think, by Wayne Jackson.
He's saying that, well, Wayne Jackson didn't appear to do anything wrong there. Just perhaps a little touch, just a little hand on top. Seen by John Connolly. Not to impress Wayne Jackson. He thought it was just a passing push as he went through. And away. Not to the satisfaction of the merry whistleblower on that occasion.
Mark Hilton then with the first drive into Halifax territory. It's Warrington's last league win here, 88, but their last win here was in the Challenge Cup in January 93. This is Ian Knott with a great opportunity. If he'd have looked over the shoulder, he'd have seen Chris Rudd. He hung on, took the tackle. Warrington in possession with Ford and now Harris. And here's Shelford. Long pass into the arms of Thompson. Thompson's pass bounces off Penny, and another opportunity goes begging.
Well, they did the right thing. Manoa Thompson got the ball out wide, but Penny just couldn't take it in.
And now Halifax have got a penalty for stealing the ball in the tackle against Cullen.
Well, the ball popped up to the substitute there, and then you can see that Cullen had the hand trying to get the ball away. But this is the opportunity. He'd done all the hard work. That Manoa Thompson, just a little bit too early, linking through from full-back was Lee Penny on that occasion.
And the ball went backwards off Kettridge. They can play on with Jackson up the middle. Oh, and he gives the ball away to Hoff. Well, who wants to hold on for a set of 6 here in this second half? I don't think we've seen anything like a set of 6 so far.
Well, it was a good half break there from Jackson, and he had in support Craig Dean, but he just left it behind him. Both sides are forcing the pass under pressure. They've got to respect this now. They've got to start playing out the full complement of 6.
Hilton again for Warrington. It's been quite evident in the opening 5 minutes. Second half. Hoff switches the direction of the attack via Ford to Thompson.
Well, the man that's impressed me in this second half is the second rower, Ian Knott. He's the man that's making the big charges out wide.
Ford dabs the ball through. Good defence from Warrington, trapping the Halifax man on his own line. Simon Baldwin, the second half substitute. Nowhere for Yamanga to go.
Oh, that's good defence. Good work from the second marker there. It wasn't evident too much in the first half from Warrington, but it is now.
Warrington with big possession in their favour right at the start of this second half. St John Ellis trying to burrow his way underneath Ian Knott. Couldn't do so. Still in their own half of the field on the last tackle. The kick down into the arms of Matiaki Maffey. Good run from him too. Good strength from Maffey.
Tremendous determined run from Maffey there, and that's what they needed. I'll take the pressure off you when you run 30, 40 metres. Make sure you get into the opposition's half. Quick balls needed now, trying to get the ball out wide.
Shelford. Ford, that was a knock-on, just couldn't take the pass in. Oh, he's having a horrific time, Mike Ford.
Well, it's all about lack of communication, and I'm afraid that is what's occurring. They'd already had a good run from Maffey, put them in a good attacking position. And then we see Shelford go one out, and then at the last moment, pass to a man who is stood still, and that man was Mike Ford. Wasn't anticipating it.
So the scrum goes down 10 metres inside the Halifax half. Baldwin tries to peel away. Stopped by Ford. And here now is Tuilangi. And this is the second rower, Amon. And now Rowley. Gets the pass away. Tuilangi again. Tackled by Cullen. 4 tackles gone. Kettridge has gone off. Paul Anderson has come on. Good dab through, and Lee Penny was taking an eternity, and Paul Rowley was so close.
Nice chase by the hooker there. Put his body between the player and the ball. Read it well, did the fullback. Had a shaky first half, Lee Penny, but did come up with a vital try.
First tackle there by Paul Anderson on Kelly Shelford, and the Kiwi felt that. This is Hilton now.
You see how the forwards are charging in on the angle, which is what is needed, but it's a quicker play of the ball. That will split the defence.
Thompson. Great tackle on Thompson, though, by Tuilangi. It's on the last tackle here with Ford, and now Forster. He dabs it through. Ford's after it. Well read, though, by the fullback, Mike Umanga.
Did well, Umanga then. Put his body right on the line. Nice kick through from Forster. Well done. Held his ground.
Penalty going against Warrington.
Just holding down. There's a flop.
Gary Chambers coming over the top and dropping on Damien Munro.
Well, it's silly mistakes like that that can change the game completely.
Rowley just brushed Mike Ford off then, and this is a lovely run here from Moana. Moana almost there, but great tackle back by Lee Penny. Ellis is the dummy half, and there's Dean. Long pass. Chester gets the ball away. Amon can't pick it up, does so second attempt and gets it to Tuilangi. Tuilangi with all the strength in the world, and he will almost get there.
Tremendous body and all tackle from Harris.
Another one called for here against Baldwin.
Tremendous scrambling defence from Warrington there.
That's how close Halifax are. Craig Dean taking them on his own, the little scrum half. Michael Jackson in a dummy half. Dean a bit groggy. Jackson, still Jackson. Stands in the tackle well. They get the pass out wide. It'll be 6 to go for Halifax. Great pressure coming in here once more. Asa Amon trying to scramble his way to the line.
Well spotted by John Connolly there. It was Forster's arm that touched the football.
Anderson. Good scrambling defence this is by Warrington. Rowley. Good ball that is, and Jackson, if he'd have taken it in, would have scored. St. John Ellis says he has scored. Referee says it's a knock-on.
Well, I've seen them given before. Jackson tried to get the ball out. And when the ball just couldn't take it away, Foster played it on, but he's playing the first knock-on. Now, the football doesn't have to hit the ground. The mere fact that Jackson lost control of it meant that that will be a head and feed to Warrington. You see here that once he lost control of it, it's Chris Rudd that was involved in it. So that will be... The crowd don't like it, but it's the right decision.
Head and feed Warrington. And here now is the winger Maffey. Maffey. Ford. And up the middle goes Shelford. Floats a pass into the arms of Ian Knott.
A dangerous one also.
It was.
In your own quarter there, you can see the heavy traffic just buzzing around him. And when you're 4 points in the lead, you don't need to do that.
Lovely run again from Hilton. He's shown up well second half. Great run, but what a tackle by little Craig Dean. Now Harris.
Getting through a ton of work, isn't he, the prop forward? Mark Hilton really has lifted his game this second half. Quick play of the ball needed here. Halifax are all at sea.
Harris stepping, getting the pass again to Shelford. Good tackle though by Anderson. They're in the danger zone. Last tackle here for Warrington. Ford attacking them. Dabs it through, comes free. And Manoa Thompson thinks he can play on. The referee though has spotted a knock on. He's going to put the scrum down.
Accidental offside. There you see. There's nothing to do with it there. There's nothing. The ball hit the player. So therefore, there's been accidental offside. See how it comes forward. And even though the Halifax prop forward Wayne Jackson did actually touch the football, the ball actually played him. Very little he could do about it. And that's why he has given the scrum down.
And head and feed Warrington. Harris. Warrington get the ball obviously from the scrum. Still Harris. Dancing, ducking, weaving. Oh, Harris! So close. He went underneath 3 tacklers then and got to within a couple of meters of the line. Shelford. Still Shelford. Wrestling him to the floor at Halifax. Hoff is the dummy half. And he finds Gary Chambers. Chambers and Anderson collide.
Oh, the big boys went at each other then. And Anderson takes the points.
Ford. Short ball to Cullen. They close the door. Hoff dummy half. Still Hoff. Again, Jackson has to come across and help out his defence, and I think
offside. And there could be interference in it.
And there's a yellow card being produced here by John red card. Wayne Jackson, red card. Now what on earth was that for? John Connolly has seen something obviously that he didn't like.
Well, obviously something in the back play. Now, did he swing the arm? Did he throw a punch? Now that's Jackson getting involved there. Now that's a professional foul holding down, but surely nothing. Let's see from a different angle.
Someone went down in back play, Steve-O. A Warrington player hit the deck like a sack of cards. There, he hit him off the ball.
He punched him, or did he push him? Well, according to the referee John Connolly, no hesitation. Halifax down to 12 men. The prop forward Wayne Jackson has been sent from the field.
And he has to move away from the dugout. He has to go to the dressing rooms. It's not yellow, the card was red. So it's a penalty to Warrington at the end of all that. And Harris accepts the 2. So controversy here at Drumhall as Wayne Jackson is sent off for an incident in back play. Watch out for it here, Steve-O. It's Cullen, and down he goes.
I think he'd used the shoulder. The elbow, should I say. Yep. Bit of a punch followed through. Cullen went down like proverbial sack of potatoes. Either way, the red card was forthcoming from John Connolly. Well, he's telling all the players now, cool it, keep calm, no retaliation. Warrington will be happy they picked up a gift 2 points. It's right in front of the post.
And they're now playing out against 12 men for the remainder of this match. And you might have noticed that Asa Amon has gone off and Carl Gillespie has come on. And was that a little swinging arm from Manoa Thompson?
Well, he
just got interference at the play of the ball.
Just over enthusiastic there. Silly thing to do, though, really, when you've just seen the referee send someone off. Even to attempt to throw the arm across the man's face.
There's Gillespie, number 16, on the team sheet for every game this season, Carl Gillespie. And here now is Michael Jackson.
Well, Halifax are not out of this. How many times have we seen in the past when a side depleted down to 12 men, even 11 men one time this season, that they can come back and win the game?
Rowley, tackled back by Cullen. Well, we've seen Warrington twice in the past week, and we've seen 3 men sent off. 2 of Warrington last week, 1 of Halifax today. But are they going to get in here, Halifax? I think that ball is down. The referee says no, it's the last tackle. He was held up just centimetres short of the line. Chester's in. Chris Chester got the try. Warrington were all over the place defensively. They'd held up 1 run. The ball was spun out wide, and Chris Chester, his 2nd try of the season.
Great play from the youngster. But what on earth was the Warrington defence doing here? They did all the hard work. Look at them swarm away, made sure that he went short, and then they forgot the plot. They just stood around, and it was a quick play, the ball. 2, 4, 6, 7, and you could see Shelford had transferred to the other side. Well, that really is, but look at that. Shelford was caught in no man's land. Quite happy for the standoff, Chris Chester. He's a fine prospect. Well, I mentioned that this game is not over.
2 in 2 weeks for Chris Chester, his first try last week against Castleford. So Mike Umanga now with the conversion attempt. The man who was held up on the line. Kicks on its way, and it's got a chance. It's got more than a chance. It's got 2 points. Scores a level. Halifax 14, Warrington 14. The 12 men hit back.
Well, how's this for controversy? There's a referee circled with his arm raised for the last tackle. And this is what occurs. They take it to there and go very close to scoring a try. But he put his arm up for the last tackle. And he kept the arm in the air. That should have been a turnover. And I'm afraid the referee, John Connolly's, put it up again. You can't do it twice. They have scored on the 7th tackle of Halifax, but they won't be complaining. I know one club that will be, Warrington.
And I know one coach who will be at the end of this match. Clive Griffiths will be totally unimpressed by that decision. Scores level, 14 all. We've had a man sent off in the second half, and we've seen a try scored on tackle number 7.
Well, I just can't believe that, Eddie, that John Connolly would raise his arm a second time.
Well, he was very clear with the first 5th tackle signal, wasn't he?
Yep, and even cleared it with the second one. Well, you talk about Lady Luck. He said that it had changed Warrington's way.
Yes, it suddenly deserted them again.
But they won't be worrying. Halifax, 12 men. That will have lifted their spirits. Even Stevens now. Psychologically, it's a great boost for this Halifax side.
Halifax in possession with Michael Jackson. A quarter of this match to go, and 14 all. It couldn't be tighter. We've had 2 great games, haven't we, on Sky Sports this weekend for excitement. The match on Friday was good, and now what a contest we've got here at Drumhall.
Well, it shows you the spirit, especially in this Halifax side. Many a side, perhaps, would have let their heads go down.
Well, you called it, you said they're not out of it. How many times have we seen the 12 men roll up their sleeves and get stuck in?
Well, we saw, I think it was St. Helens at Bradford. They were down to 11 eventually, but they came away with the spoils. It's been a tough encounter, this.
Yestin Harris. John Hoff is the dummy half. The runner is Gary Chambers. It was high, and that's a penalty to Warrington. Number 15, Baldwin, and Jackson coming in over the top.
A bit too high, Jackson. Even though the first impact was on the shoulder, you could see clearly that he was always going to go over the top, straight into the face. Well, that will relieve the pressure somewhat. Warrington, they really were on the rack. Now this is where Warrington really have to drive their forwards in and perhaps just make sure that their kicking game is good. Try to get the ball deep into the in-goal area.
Maffey drops the ball, and that's a criminal error on the first tackle.
What a great tackle. Wonderful tackle there.
Paul Anderson
came in and just really gave it everything. Maffey looked at the referee saying, I didn't drop it. Well, he sure did, with the impact that did all the rest.
Chester gets the ball away to Umanga. Umanga is tracked back by Chris Rudd and tackled. Strong run from Tuilangi. Gets the pass away. Good support from Chester. And he's there again, the standoff. And he gets the ball back.
He'll play the first knock on. The crowd want it to be play on, but there's really no advantage there. It was Matei Kimafi that got the fingertips to it. That was the knock on, quite clear. Well, the Halifax fans booing the referee, saying that they should have played on, but...
Well, they're booing him because he's given Warrington the head and feed.
Well, I think I might now.
Well, Harris, as you can see, is on his way to the blood bin. He's got blood streaming from a cut above the eye. And Paul Barrow will come on to replace him. The referee shows the green card. But what on earth has happened here with this decision? Because if Maffey got fingertips to it, which he did, why is it now Warrington's head and feed?
Well, I often say that the players lose the plot. I'm beginning to think that John Connolly, the referee, has done also.
Noah Thompson being forced back. Baldwin getting a big slap on the back there for the effort.
Quite a few players out there, they're losing their cool. Connolly will have to keep a sharp eye out for this one. Few swinging arms, and that's interference.
That ball was stolen, and the referee this time gets it right. He's under pressure now from the crowd and the players, having come up with a couple of errors.
Well, you can see 4 players getting involved there. 2 went for the head. And I'm afraid that Simon Baldwin went for the football. Well, it's there for the taking, isn't it?
Ian Knott with the penalty. Here come Warrington again. Forster picks himself up. Hoff is the dummy half once more. I'll tell you what, Paul Rowley's quick, but is he as quick as that?
To be fair, it was pretty slow around the play the ball area.
Cullen grits his teeth, gets the pass to Chris Rudd, and then gives Chris Rudd a look, and it looks could kill. Error from Rudd, 14 all at Thrum Hall.
Their first in.
Less than a quarter of an hour of this match to go. It's all square at Thrum Hall. 14 points apiece. Halifax down to 12 men for the remainder of this game. Wayne Jackson sent off, and Warrington in desperate search of a morale-boosting victory. This match is up for the winning in the next 15 minutes, and that's Carl Gillespie. Gets the pass away. It's going to be 6 to go here for Halifax. Warrington man, Mark Forster, got a hand to it. Good driving run down the left-hand side.
Looking very tired, this Warrington defence now.
Well, they're on their feet.
They're not moving up forward. They're hanging back. Look how easy they're getting over the advantage line, Halifax.
Anderson to within 10 metres of the Warrington posts. This is the time when players, after the punishing season they've had, start to run on empty, and gaps are appearing for Halifax in this Warrington defence. Chester to Dean, kick across and up the hill. It drops perfectly and he nearly stepped out of play. This is to Ilangi. To Ilangi still, and again within centimetres. That's the last tackle, and that's the turnover this time.
Good play by the second rower, Ian Knott and Mike Ford. They really put their bodies on the line. They are out on their feet. They can hardly stand. Both sides deserve a medal. They've thrown everything into this second half.
Well, Warrington end their season at Oldham on Wednesday, their 5th game in 13 days, and all of them away from home. They have some respite here. Halifax caught offside at the play the ball.
Well, another bad mistake by Baldwin. See that he moved away far too quickly in the second marker position. Well, I get the impression, less than 13 minutes remaining, that
Mark Forster's getting a piggyback off the field. He has problems with an ankle, apparently.
Well, I just get the impression that it's going to come around. Whoever's going to win this game, it's going to be from a mistake, mainly a forced error as well, because they really are tired, and that just shows you.
He lost the ball, and Chambers is hurt.
Fell awkwardly on the shoulder. You see it, perhaps the elbow.
And maybe the boot of number 17, Paul Anderson, as well.
A bit of a swinging arm as well there from Anderson.
Well, they're going down like 9 pins here. This is the Forster injury.
It's one of those things. He got caught up on the inside of the leg from Jackson.
And now there's a problem for Gary Chambers. His 100th appearance in Warrington's colours, and needing some attention to an arm injury.
You really have got to admire these players this season.
Well, you wonder how many of them are playing on through the pain of injury.
All of them.
And with injections as well.
Well, I wouldn't say all of them have got injections, but I know that most are going into, all of them will be going in with scrapes, bruises, strains. It has not been easy this Centenary season.
Certainly hasn't, and Halifax here are looking for something from it with St. John Ellis. Penny with the tackle. Good tackle too by the Warrington fullback. Nice little run though from the Halifax winger. Chester to Dean, another long raking pass into the arms of Tuilangi. Tuilangi with a lot of raw bone talent. No wonder Halifax have picked him up. Now Michael Jackson. Jackson spills it, and Warrington breathe a sigh of relief.
All come about from the tackle there. Beautiful tackle from Paul Barrow. The try-saver gives them the opposition the chance now. Warrington, quick play of the ball. You can see all these players are very tired, struggling to get back to 10.
And hardly making it. Well, I hope that Wigan and Bradford will have recovered in time for Tuesday, because we have perhaps the championship decider in this Centenary season. Wigan need a point, and if they get their point at Central Park Tuesday, you'll see it with us on Sky Sports. Special programme, 10:30 until midnight. And the next Friday, we'll see Sheffield against Wigan, because if they don't pick it up on Tuesday, they might at Don Valley, and we're on Sky Sports 2 next Friday evening.
What a tremendous tackle from Martin Moana there. Super stuff. Defence when it was really needed. And that's a wasted kick. No pressure could be applied.
Umanga, the full-back, taking on Manoa Thompson. And Manoa Thompson just getting an ankle tap to him. Just halted him enough for Lee Penny to come in and finish him off. But Halifax, the 12 men, are running stronger.
That was a try-saver from Thompson. Umanga that on the inside, the winger Munro, and it was a clear run to the line.
Craig Dean again takes Halifax to the 20-metre line. Chester into the arms of Tuilangi.
Well, they've got to be looking, that's silly play. They should have been looking to drive towards the sticks and go for the one-point field goal. Instead, they forced the pass when it's not on. Tuilagi there made an awful mistake.
Mike Ford gets to his feet wearily, half. And this is Chambers. Highton has come on for Halifax for Michael Jackson, so fresh pair of legs in 19-year-old Paul Highton. Here's Barrow for Warrington. Good tackling back by Martin Moana. And Maffey dumped to the ground by Anderson. Hoff at dummy half. Here's Shelford. Little chip over the top from Shelford. He tripped in back play, collided with Rowley. Both of them are on the floor.
Well spotted though by Simon Baldwin. He knew the kick was coming on the last tackle. He dropped back. That is good play from the substitute. Doesn't normally play sweeper, and he knew that Halifax, down to 12 men, would not be employing one. That was great thinking there.
Carl Gillespie, the ball comes free, St. John Ellis, and he said it's a knock-on.
It is a knock-on. He lost control of it. He went forward, and even though it hit his foot, you can see that he loses control of it. But was Thursfield's hand involved? Either way, Connolly says not.
Harris with obviously a cut on the nose and not above the eye as we thought, waiting to come back on the field, but he's not on yet. They must get him back on, Iestyn Harris, because I suppose if anyone can A, open up the door, or B, drop a goal, it's Harris. Hilton, unstrongly second half. Good tackle though from Gillespie.
Well, Hilton knows a way forward, and that's what Warrington are going to do. That's a forward pass. Well, that is just sheer stupidity from Mike Ford. He knows it too. See how he just hangs on far too long. Well, in the scheme of things, 50-50 perhaps from the high shot, but either way, he knows that he's made a bad mistake, Mike Ford. All they had to do, just slightly, quarter of an inch maybe, but all they had to do was just drive towards the sticks. Seconds are ticking away. A seesawing battle here.
Paul Barrow goes off. He's replaced by Iestyn Harris back out of the blood bin. But it's Halifax in command at the moment with Paul Highton.
Thursfield threw a punch, didn't connect.
Here's Anderson. Thursfield taking him on again, this time legally. And Baldwin will drive it in to within 20 metres of the post. It's the last tackle. Rowley. An attempted drop goal coming up here. Is it from Dean? No, he thought about it, and maybe he has fooled them all, but he didn't fool Maffey. That was a wonderful tackle from Maffey, and he enjoyed it. Look at the smile on his face, the Tongan.
He's enjoying it, isn't he? He's had a good game, and so is the guy that he tackled, Craig Dean. It was good defence from Warrington. Dean was putting himself in a position to attempt the one-pointer. Too much pressure forced him out wide, and Maffey finished him off.
Shelford back inside to Harris. Mike Ford, the dummy half, 3 tackles gone. Ford looking for some support. Eventually Thursfield presents himself, and he is stopped on halfway.
Well, with all these players being so tired, they're so tired now. This is where a quick play of the ball and a run from dummy half can make you vital yardage.
Instead of that, Thursfield's having a pop at Rowley verbally. Shelford gets the pass away, not. Thought about throwing one over the shoulder. That's the last one for Warrington. They're right on halfway. Ford running it again, dropping it again. Kelly Shelford.
Well, Thompson tried to keep the ball alive when really a kick downfield would have been the better option. Well, all it takes now is one break. We're entering the last 5. One break down the middle, and the forwards will just grind it down towards those sticks.
One last change for Warrington. Paul Barrow has returned, and Thursfield has gone off. 4 minutes to go, plus anything the timekeepers may add for stoppages, as Gillespie gets the tackle. He plays the ball to Umanga. Umanga finds the centre, Moana. Quick play the ball, and Rowley thought about scampering off from dummy half on his own. Instead, put the ball inside to Chris Chester. Seconds are ticking away. It's last tackle and a long drop goal attempt here. It just went wide of the post. Baldwin thought about it for a long time. Not so far away.
He certainly had the strength, and it was worth the option. Just skewed away to the right, off the outside of the boots. But at least they know what they want.
And now they'll want to keep Warrington penned down in their own half of the field.
See these guys out there running on empty. They really are finding it very difficult to even walk, never mind run.
Mike Ford, dummy half again. He finds Kelly Shelford. The runner was Barrow. He was watched all the way.
Remember, Halifax down to 12. They won't be able to use the sweeper. Is it going to be a chip over the top?
Harris, straight up the middle again. Last tackle, only just inside the Halifax half. No chance for a drop goal, so they'll kick it instead, and that bounces off a Halifax man.
It was a charge down, so it's not classified as a knock-on. Just what Halifax needed. Warrington, Mike Ford trying to get the ball deep. He found the player instead of the corner.
Oh, lovely run from Dean, support inside him. That's Rowley, and Rowley wins the match. Paul Rowley wins the match for Halifax. The 12 men have come up off the canvas, and they have hit Warrington where it hurts most, right down the middle. The little hooker comes up with a vital 4 points.
The charge down gave him the opportunity, and Craig Dean, who's had a fine game. Superb pass on the inside. We really do have some wonderful hookers in our game, young ones too. From the charge down, they played the ball, and look at the skills of this youngster, Craig Dean. He drew the full back, and Rowley, well-deserved 4 points. That should clean it up. But there is the charge down, and it was the hooker Rowley that charged it down too. From one end of the field to the other, from charging it down, let's finish it off. Let's wrap it up. 12 men Halifax surely will not be denied now.
Well, he missed the England squad for the World Cup, but he's in the under-21 squad for next month, Paul Rowley. And he seems to reserve his best performances for whenever the Sky Sports cameras are on him. He got 2 tries against Oldham, you may remember, right at the start of the season. Mike Umanga now from just about bang in front. And Halifax have a 6-point advantage, 20 points to 14. And Warrington's brave effort looks like it has founded on the rocks of Paul Rowley.
A tired defence just left the gap there. The second marker didn't squeeze in quick enough. Calm, cool and collected. Dean's pass on the inside. And every hooker should follow the man with a football. They get their just desserts. 4 points for that man.
A try in the win here last season against Warrington, and a try in the win here this season, which it will surely now be.
Well, a lot of controversy will reign over that try that enabled Halifax to equal the scores. It was definitely the arm raised by John Connolly signalling the last tackle, and then after the other tackle he did it again. So in effect Halifax scored on the 7th tackle.
Have Warrington got yet another little twist up their sleeve? Barrow gets the pass away to Maffey. There's plenty of stoppage time to come. I may have surrendered the points to Halifax, but Warrington haven't. Maybe they have now. It bounced off Chambers straight into the arms of Rowley. He's in the right place at the right time again. And Penny losing his cool, as he did at St Helens last week. And the referee, John Connolly, wants a word with him.
Sheer frustration. Swinging the arm, got in the elbow. Well, he was in front of the judiciary this week. Got the benefit of the doubt on that day. Thankfully, John Connolly, the referee, didn't see too much in that.
Well, it's frustration. You hit the nail right on the head, Steve-O, because at the moment they are looking down the barrels of their 6th successive defeat, Warrington, and they have just 1 minute, the timekeepers tell us, to rescue. Well, it would only be a point.
With a fine effort, though, from both sides.
Gillespie.
They really have thrown everything at it. I've been so impressed with the combination, though, of young Chester and Craig Dean. Some of their passing ability has been superb.
But it augurs well.
They know how to get the link going.
It augurs well for Halifax in the Super League with those two youngsters. And remember, of course, this Halifax team down to 12 men. Warrington have fought all the way. He felt that Craig Dean, Lee Penny really picked him up and bounced him heavily into the ground. Yeah. He could hardly get up, the little halfback. There's the siren, it's all over. Warrington suffer their 6th straight defeat. And Penny shakes hands all round. They got 2 tries second half, Halifax to win the match. Lee Penny, it was brave effort from him and the rest of the Warrington side. Chester and Rowley, 2 names that you can mark down and remember in the future. Chris Chester, 17, Paul Rowley, 20. The game is in safe hands with talent like this. And Halifax have won by 20 points to 14, but a match filled with talking points.